So you're an ancient Greek, and you're bored. There is no phone, no television, no football on a Sunday afternoon, and yet somehow you are about to have more fun than most modern people manage in an entire year. Welcome to ancient Greece, where a good night out involved wine, nudity, and occasionally punching a total stranger for sport. Let's start with the drinking, because the Greeks always started with the drinking. When the sun went down, you didn't go to a bar, you went to a symposium. A symposium was basically a dinner party, except everyone lay down on couches, propped up on one elbow, and refused to sit up like a normal human for the rest of the night. You reclined, that was the whole vibe. Sitting upright to drink was for barbarians, and possibly for women, who mostly weren't invited in the first place. So there you are, lying on your side, wine cup in hand. But here comes the twist. You are not actually allowed to get properly drunk. At least, not right away. The Greeks watered down their wine, every single time. Drinking wine neat, undiluted, was considered the behavior of a savage, a lunatic, or a Macedonian, which to an Athenian were pretty much the same thing. Every party had one man in charge of the giant mixing bowl. He was called the symposiarch, and his entire job for the evening was deciding how much water went into the wine. Get the ratio right, and everyone enjoys a lovely night of poetry and philosophy. Get it wrong, and you've got 12 grown men sobbing about their feelings on the floor by midnight. And what did you do at these parties, besides drink? You played games, obviously. The single greatest party game in all of ancient Greece was called Kottabos, and it is exactly as ridiculous as it sounds. Here is how Kottabos worked. You drank most of your wine. Then, with the dregs left at the bottom of your cup, you flung the last mouthful across the room at a target. That was it. That was the whole game. Flicking leftover booze at a little bronze disc balanced on a stand. Men bet money on this. Men bet land on this. Some of the finest minds in human history staked their fortunes on their ability to throw wine accurately, while lying down, slightly drunk. And you thought darts was the low point of civilization. Now, maybe flinging wine across a room isn't your idea of a good time. Maybe you want a little culture. Good news. The Greeks basically invented going to the theater. Once a year, Athens threw an enormous festival for the god Dionysus, the god of wine, which tells you everything about how these people prioritized their lives. The whole city shut down. Courts closed. Prisoners were reportedly released just so they could attend, because nothing says civic responsibility like letting the criminals out for a play. And you didn't watch one short show. You sat through plays all day, in the sun, on a stone slab, for hours. The Theater of Dionysus could hold something like 17,000 people. That is a stadium, for a play. Some of these plays were tragedies, all doom and murder and gods ruining everyone's afternoon. But your favorites were the comedies. A man named Aristophanes wrote comedies so savage they'd get you sued today. He put real, living politicians on stage and mocked them by name, in front of the entire city, while those same politicians were sitting in the audience. Imagine roasting the most powerful man in your country to his face, in a stadium, and everyone just claps. That was a Tuesday for Aristophanes. And if a performance was bad, you didn't leave a polite review. You threw food. Audiences pelted terrible actors with olives, figs, and whatever fruit was in reach. Somewhere in ancient Athens, there was an actor who forgot his lines and got hit in the face with a fig, and honestly, he probably deserved it. But let's say you're not a wine flinger or a theater person. Let's say you like sport. Oh, the Greeks had sport. The Greeks loved sport so much they built their entire calendar around it. The Olympics were the big one, held every 4 years at Olympia, in honor of Zeus, and the athletes competed almost entirely nude. The word gymnasium literally comes from the Greek word for naked. Every workout was a nude workout. Every training session was just a field full of oiled men, because that was the other thing. Before you competed, you covered yourself in olive oil, head to toe, glistening. And afterwards, you scrape the oil, sweat, and dust off your body with a curved metal tool called a strigil, and the truly grim part is that this scraped off gunk was sometimes collected and sold as a beauty product. People paid money for the scrapings of an athlete's skin. Let that one sit for a second. Now, the crown jewel of Greek sport was not running, and it was not the discus. It was pankration. Pankration was a combat sport with almost no rules. You could punch, you could kick, you could strangle, you could snap a man's fingers backward until he tapped out or passed out. There were exactly 2 rules: no biting, no eye gouging. And the Spartans, being the Spartans, held their own version where even those 2 rules did not apply. So when a Spartan says he's going to the gym, run. And the champions of these games, they were the celebrities of the ancient world. The most famous was a wrestler named Milo of Croton, who won the Olympics so many times people lost count. Milo was a legend. He was said to eat about 9 kilograms of meat a day, wash it down with 9 liters of wine, and train by carrying a live calf on his shoulders every single day until it grew into a full bull, which he then, allegedly, ate. Was this true? Almost certainly not. Did every Greek believe it and love it anyway? Absolutely. Milo was ancient Greece's action movie, and the special effects were just extremely enthusiastic rumors. But here's the thing that might actually surprise you. For all the wine and the wrestling and the naked oil sports, the ancient Greek idea of fun wasn't really about the wine or the wrestling at all. It was about being together. The symposium wasn't really about getting drunk. It was about lying in a room full of your friends, arguing about the meaning of life until sunrise. The theater wasn't just entertainment. It was 17,000 people laughing at the same joke, in the same breath, on the same stone hillside. The games weren't just about winning. They were the one thing that could make rival cities stop fighting long enough to stand in a field and cheer together. They didn't have screens. They didn't have algorithms feeding them fun in tiny silent doses. So their fun was loud. It was physical. It was shared. It happened in the same room as other actual human beings. And when you look at it that way, the strangest part isn't how different their idea of a good time was from yours. It's how much better it sounds. So no, you're an ancient Greek, and you are not bored. You are oiled up, mildly drunk, watching a comedy roast the mayor, about to bet your house on throwing wine at a plate. You are, somehow, having the time of your life.